To a bit of politics, Peer Advocacy and Advancement Centre in Africa has held a two-day post-election review with groups and civil society organizations that observed the 2023 general election. Senior correspondent Sharon Ijason has details.
It's the gathering of accredited observers for the 2023 general election. They are at this conference in Lagos to assess the role they played during the elections. The executive director of Peer Advocacy and Advancement Centre in Africa, Ezenwa Nwago, described conduct of the elections as challenging.
If you sign in to observe elections, you must subject yourself to those protocols and guidelines that surround that very activity that you are going to do. Oftentimes, people think it's an all-commerce affair. There is INEC brings out a particular guideline for those who will observe elections. What are they supposed to be doing? What is your work as election observer? You up to 1.6 million, 2 million. That tells you that technology had a role to play. And that is an improvement. That is a remarkable improvement. Kenya did technology 2 times and failed woefully. It is perhaps in this election that they got it right.
That a lot of people, stakeholders within the electoral value chain, don't really understand the mandate of INEC itself and the role that it plays during election. And so that's why you see once an election happens, there's violence, everybody's calling INEC. So many people who are supposed to be to act independently like observers who are not supposed to have an attachment to the process, but independently look at the process and report on that. Their reports are tainted by the fact that they tilt towards certain alignments with certain political parties.
Representative of the National Orientation Agency, who ruled out efforts to educate the electorate, urged citizens to desist from spreading fake news during elections.
The media, especially social media, continue to be agents of spreading lies, hate speech, and misinformation among our people. The conduct of the politicians themselves as they go about their campaigns does not help matters either. In Bayelsa particularly, reaching the creeks may be a problem, especially now that the rains are here and communities fear they may not be able to vote.
As Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi states prepare for governorship elections on the 11th of November, residents of the state have been encouraged to participate in the process for credible outcome. Sharon Ijason, TVC News.
The First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Oluremi Tinubu, says the global community must channel more energy towards fostering peace, promoting dialogue, and combating the forces of hatred and division. Senator Oluremi Tinubu, while speaking at the wreath-laying ceremony in honor of the victims of the 2011 bombing of the United Nations building in Abuja, wants a world where terrorism, along with its severe impact on the society, is effectively combated. Paying tribute, she says the world must not only draw strength from the sacrifice of those serving the cause of peace, but must also recommit to the values of unity, understanding, and cooperation that the UN represents.
This event serves as a solemn reminder of the profound impact that acts of violence can have on our society. Therefore, let us draw strength and from the progress we have made thus far. Our city, our nation, and the global community have demonstrated a remarkable capacity to come together, rebuild, and recommit ourselves to the values of unity, understanding, and cooperation that the United Nations represents. As we look to the future, I encourage us to channel our energies into fostering peace, promoting dialogue, and combating the forces of hatred and division. Let us work tirelessly to ensure that such acts of violence never occur in our nation and the world at large.
We must never forget our dear colleagues who perished and those who have to live with the lifelong scars of terrorism. Our actions to create a peaceful future are the best tribute we can pay in their memory and honor their sacrifice. Today's commemorative event reminds us that no matter how long ago an attack occurred, victims continue to live and cope with its legacy.
In this second half, let's tell you that the Director General of Nigeria Hydrological Services has confirmed that Cameroon has shut the gates of Lagdo Dam. This means that the spillage of water that started on the 14th of August has stopped, as Nigerians are now wondering how much impact the already released high volume of water will have in the coming days. But NEMA, on his part, is assuring that Nigeria may not experience the level of disaster it did in 2012 and 2022 because of the proactiveness of the state governors in responding to the flood. Muyo Thomas reports.
The devastating flood disasters experienced in Nigeria in 2012 and 2022 was greatly impacted by the releasing of the water from the Lagdo Dam. It is therefore no surprise that all stakeholders reacted promptly this year once the information became public that water was to be released from the dam. This is another National Emergency Coordination Forum organized by NEMA, gathering stakeholders to ensure timely and efficient response to the impending floods and to ensure effective coordination and implementation of various policies.
Nigeria Meteorological and Hydrological Service Agency gauging station in Makurdi stood at 8.97 meters as of August 25, 2023, compared to 8.80 meters on the same date in 2022. Also, NISA provided the flow level of River Niger system, especially at Niamey, Niger Republic, remains stable at a normal level of 4.3 meters.
I got in touch with the hydrologist on the dam, and he told me that they opened their dam 10 minutes past 10 a.m. in the morning of 14th of August, and that they were spilling water at the rate of 200 cubic meters per second, which is about 18 million cubic meters of water per day.
Climate change is pushing up humanitarian needs in Nigeria and in neighboring countries in the Sahel, which are on the front line of the climate crisis. Floods and droughts are increasingly frequent and more severe. The encroaching desert is robbing farmers of arable farmlands and pastoralists of pasture of livestock.
NEMA says the MOU between Nigeria and Cameroon does not include the time to inform Nigeria for the seasonal release of water from Lagdo Dam. He therefore suggests the need to deploy a high level of preparedness on the part of the federal and state governments.
Though NEMA says there is no cause for alarm yet and is calling for calm, but also wants states within the coastal region of River Benue and River Niger to take precautionary measures as already indicated. Muyo Thomas, TVC News, Abuja.